Hey guys, welcome back. I got something for you today that I'm pretty excited to share. It's a new gun that I think will have some people reevaluating their concealed carry. I know I am. But before we jump in, do me a favor and smush the like button for this video. It really does help, and right now, the channel could really use your help. This video is not sponsored, and I'm not being paid to do it except by my Patreon supporters. But full disclosure, this gun was provided by Springfield Armory ahead of the product launch so that I could bring you this review. And the last disclaimer before we get to the good stuff. In several clips in this video, you'll see a blob of a chocolate substance on the corner of my mouth, right below my lip. It's because I had a snack and I work alone. My apologies for the distraction. I had to look at it through the entire editing process, and I even threw out some clips because of it. Now, what can I say? I guess I need to start packing napkins now to the range. Anyway, I know it's probably going to be really annoying to look at in some cases, and again, I apologize. There are more 10mm handguns on the market today than ever before, and that means more choices for us buyers. But if you wanted to carry a 10mm handgun for personal protection, concealed, compact, one that holds 12 rounds on a long-time proven platform, and is optics ready, your choices have been exactly zero. Until today. Springfield Armory is now releasing the XDM Elite Compact in 10mm. So when you're arguing with your buddy about 9mm versus 45 ACP, and you see that wise old looking guy in the corner just shaking his head and smiling to himself as if you're discussing which boy band you think is the cutest, it's because he carries 10mm. For decades there's been maybe one or two options for any legitimate carry consideration. None of them are even close to the modern design and superior performance of the XDM Elite pistol. That's my opinion. You might disagree. But I'm not here to sell you anything or to insist that you see things the way I do. All right, let me try this compact XDM Elite 10mm out on my steel array. Interesting. Well, we know the optic is dialed in. We know the ammo is accurate. Is it possible that it could be the shooter? No way. No way. I'm shooting low, I think, a little bit. There we go. So let me tell you the details about this gun, and then you decide. For starters, it's an XDM Elite. I know not everyone prefers the XDM, just as not everyone prefers Glock or maybe SIG. That's why choices are out there, and choices are a good thing. But choices when it comes to 10mm concealed carry have been slim to none. The XDM platform has had facelifts over the years, and the trigger has been improved a great deal. But at its core, it's still the same reliable, combat-ready handgun that has millions of rounds downrange. And I honestly can't remember the last time I saw one have a malfunction, if I ever have. I spent multiple range trips with this gun, and I put a lot of different ammo through it. It runs 100%, and it's a shooter. The recoil is much better managed than I anticipated. I'm not going to blow smoke. It's a 10mm and it kicks. But I was able to do bursts of up to 5 shots at a time as fast as I could get the front sight back down. And I was impressed with how fast it snaps back to the target. I could talk about specs, but you've already heard me yakking enough for a bit. Well, let's just rock out to the specs on this gun. Take notes if you need to, or better yet, just rewatch the video over and over. So as you can see, the chambering is the only big difference from, say, the 9mm XDM Elite Compact that I told you about just recently, in fact. Actually, the only complaint I can come up with for this gun is that my strong hand pinky feels a bit squished by the magwell. But I noticed that less during live fire, and it actually helps to lock my grip to the pistol. The bottom line is this: I shoot this gun well, good enough to have confidence to carry it, and I trust its reliability 100%. So for me, it always comes down to especially when I'm considering a gun as a self-defense gun, whether it's personal, concealed carry or home defense or whatever, duty gun, for those of you out there who are looking for a duty gun. If I'm looking at it in that perspective, through that lens, it all comes down to how well can I shoot this gun, because at the end of the day, I don't think anybody's ever hollered, "Stop, or I'll set up my bench rest." I think pretty much, it's going to come down to how you can shoot the gun. So, all that lecture, basically to say that I'm going to shoot offhand some different rounds at that target that you see, and that target is 10 yards down range. So that is our textbook self-defense distance plus 3 yards. And I think that gives us a pretty decent test for a compact carry gun. And here we go. I'm going to start out with, I guess it would be helpful if I told you, Arms Core. And this is Arms Core 180 grain full metal jacket. Good stuff. I've shot a lot of this stuff over the years, and it's an ammo I trust. All right, so I'm going to start out at the top left-hand target.
Whoa, that was my bad. Okay, let me take a breath, settle down. I think 5 rounds is always plenty for these tests, don't you guys? Because, you know, shooter fatigue, and when I say shooter fatigue, it doesn't mean, oh my God, this gun's too heavy for me to hold or any of that, but just, you know, holding the gun out at arm's length, concentrating, trying to, you know, shoot between breaths, things like that, that's all fairly taxing. And you guys know what I'm talking about, right? So this is Federal American Eagle 180 grain full metal jacket. Got to remember to close one eye, use my far away eye. All right, there's those. Up next, Remington, green and white box, also 180 grain. And just in case I get wild, let's and I'm only going to shoot 4 groups total, so let's go down to the bottom 2 targets, so as I don't get confused later if I overlap. Remington, 180 grain. All right. Man, I love 10 millimeter. Did I mention that I happen to love 10 millimeter? If you didn't have to show, you know, like a list of financial assets and, you know, get references and stuff like that anytime you wanted to buy this stuff, assuming you could find it, it would be pretty awesome. All right. I'm going to show some terrible bias here, and I'm going to say, saving the best for last. Sig Sauer, Elite Performance, V-Crown, and this stuff is 180 grain also, but it is jacketed hollow point. Big, nice, wide mouth stuff. And this tells us it's going 1,250 feet per second, so somewhere in that neighborhood. This is, if I were to carry this gun, and spoiler alert, I'm carrying it today, this is the ammo that gets carried in it. Okay, bottom right target. That was me. I felt it. Okay. You probably could see the difference in recoil. I could certainly feel the difference in recoil. When you're shooting a true defense load, it is it's got a little bit more behind it, but this gun really soaks it up nice. I really like the way this gun shoots. Man, I'll tell you, a head-to-head between this and the Glock 29, ooh, oh yes, that is a must-do. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are about that, if you agree with me. But when it comes to compact size, polymer framed, striker fired 10mm guns. That's it. That's all there is. If I'm overlooking something, let me know. But yeah, I know you can get your 1911 variants that are small, and I know you can get a couple other steel frame guns and a couple polymer framed hammer fired guns. But if you want to look at this form factor, this is it. And what I'm loving here is, number one, for whatever reason, I shoot the XDM Elite pretty well, you know. I don't shoot every gun great. You guys that watch the channel regularly know I don't shoot every gun great, which is why I come out to the range. It's why I do. This is why my reviews aren't tabletop reviews, because that doesn't mean anything unless all we want to do is look at the specs. There's a place for that, but I like to come out to the range and see how I shoot the gun, how it feels to me. And I will tell you that the trigger on this gun is really, really nice. I mean, borderline fantastic. I love the hex optics, I really do. I do wish they had the shake awake technology, well, this one doesn't anyway, the Dragonfly. I wish it had that, but you know, that aside, yeah, I can push a button. I just don't want to have to push a button in an emergency. But I do like the optic a lot. It works great. The folks at Springfield Armory zero this thing in beautifully when they ship it to you. I think most of you who order it with the optic mounted will find she's ready to go right out of the box. But I just shoot this gun well. I shoot it well. And even when I'm shooting, you know, I'm not going to say full house 10mm, because you can get 10mm that's hotter than the SIG, but the SIG is certainly a full power 10mm in terms of commercial traditional ammo. When I'm shooting that self-defense stuff, I'm able to keep them, you know, right in that tight group, and that makes me happy. Look, happy.
It's not as small as something like the Hellcat or the other Miracle 9s, obviously, but with cooler weather coming and something besides just a t-shirt to conceal it, this is a very viable carry gun, and I plan to carry it. QVO Tactical already has it nicely covered with a great Kydex inside the waistband holster that I've been testing with it. But here's a pro tip for you. If you have the old XDM holster, the ones that came with the guns a few years back, it fits perfect. Okay, my final thoughts. This new 10mm version of the XDM Elite Compact is a legit carry option. If threat-stopping power is what you want, you need look no further. The optics-ready capability takes it beyond anything on the market that I'm aware of. When it comes to a concealed carry pistol, I think this one sits at the very top of the food chain. I'd love to get your thoughts. Leave a comment on it. Be polite. And again, don't forget to smush the like button. And if you don't already subscribe to the channel, well, now's your chance. Thanks as always to my Patreon patrons. I hope you're all doing well, and I'll see you again soon.